What's up, brother?
What's going on? Where are you? There I am. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. How you living?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm doing good. I'm in currently in Pennsylvania with my daughter and her mom.
Okay.
Yeah, little.
You've been there a lot.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm definitely trying to be more of a present here, and I'm here for about the week, and then I'm going to go home for the weekend so I can go do what I got to do.
All right. Do you stay with them when you're there?
This time I am. It's been relatively quiet until right now, but
Okay.
a lot of times I just go get an Airbnb or a hotel.
Okay. Cool.
So I can have a little bit of peace. We're on such different schedules. Like they're really late night people. I'm really early morning dude. I go to bed super early. So
Yeah.
our schedules are vastly different.
Makes sense, man. What are you working on and working through in this season?
Um, I'm working on some homework for Dr. Britt.
Okay.
I got some more to write out for her. Um, Working on a pretty good book. I'm working on trying to have a conversation with my daughter without it escalating.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just so reactive to everything, and so it is what it is. I kind of have my head wrapped around it. We're not going to have it now because she's on her way into school, but we're going to have it this evening for sure.
Okay. I love it. What's the intention for that?
Man, that's a good question. So the intention is having a uncomfortable conversation that we it doesn't have to escalate. It's just a conversation that we need to have, and we don't need to yell. We don't need to scream like the cursing. It doesn't need to escalate. She immediately, very similar to me. She immediately just starts like snapping and yelling and right and I don't. I'm trying to like stay down here, and she's immediately escalating. So
Okay.
I we she just has a bunch of shit she needs to do. She's falling behind on her schoolwork. The weed is out of control as per usual, and it's like we need to simmer down. So I'm gonna start by like turning off her phone. That's the first thing that's gonna happen.
Okay. That'll get her attention. That'll get any teenager's attention.
Yep, because she's glued to her phone. She's not listening, and then her little mouth is getting away from her. So I'm not gonna. We're not. I'm not yelling. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna. I warned her last night. I'm like, your mouth is getting to you. I was like, it's gonna start taking away from you. And she says, I know, I understand. And then very quickly this morning, her mouth once again. I said, okay, no problem. It's like, we'll chat when you get home from school, bro.
Okay.
Yep.
How are you and your ex-wife in alignment on how to navigate the call conversation?
We're kind of there. We're kind of there. We always kind of start a united front, and then she tends to go her own way. She gets if G starts to behave for a day or two, she immediately pulls the plug and like, oh, everything's back to normal. Where like if I say you're grounded for a week, bro, you're grounded for a week. We're not even discussing it until next week,
Yeah.
right? Because like you're gonna sit in whatever you're gonna sit in it all week.
Yeah. It's good.
That's where we differ. So I'm hoping that it's that things are escalating to a point where she sees like she has to like we have to stick together. I'm hoping.
How can you create alignment in that before you go into the call?
That's a good question. How do I create alignment?
Yeah.
Maybe
Just 'cause she's her mother, right? And I know you guys are co-parenting, but especially going into something like this, that would probably provide a lot more like just alignment going into it.
create more alignment. I need that. How do I do that?
Just be simply an open conversation with like, hey, I want to make sure that we're getting on the same page with our daughter. Here's how I'd like to lead the conversation. Obviously, your opinion matters, but if we can't both be consistent in this delivery, then she's not going to benefit and she's going to try and put us against each other.
100%.
Right. And so,
Yep.
um, like you know, you already know how these conversations go. And so I would lead that conversation with your ex-wife before you have it with your daughter and just have a
Sure.
quick little check-in like, hey, we have the same goal. right? And it's our daughter to have the best opportunity in the world and to just live wonderfully. And in order to do that, I think that we need to get into alignment. And so we're going to have this conversation tonight. Here's my thoughts. Here's where I'd like to take it. But of course, um, uh, we got to do this together. And so what does it look like to you? And then let's just talk about, the potential when I go back home, she's going to push the limits and want to like, break, what we agreed on. Right. And
Mhm.
so I just want to get on the same page that you and I are on the same page.
Okay. Page. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that. Man. Parenting is like, it's good. It's legit. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. It's it's like frustrating on another level.
Yeah. Well, you're doing, I think, everything you can to maintain your emotional equanimity. You're doing the work from a therapy counseling standpoint. You're focused on your vision. You're keeping your fitness going. So you're doing everything you need to be doing. And these are one of those, as we know in AA, there's some things that are outside of our control. How's the Serenity Prayer go? God grant me the
God
serenity.
grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change,
Yeah.
courage to change the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Amen. Amen. So, what you should be praying for in this season is the wisdom to know the difference.
Oof. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely working on that. I went to a meeting this morning. I went to a 7 o'clock meeting. I'm the whole time I'm here, I'm like diligently working on this book. I'm trying to get through this guy Trent's book as like fast as possible.
Uh,
So like anytime it's like it's a matter of like, well, I'll jump on my phone and like screen stuff. I just jump on the book and I'm just trying to like really like intentionally get through the book and write notes, and I'm trying to write a lot more. I'm just trying to like just write things down and process more, process better. It's really where I'm at right now. I don't know if that's like a season of writing. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to write everything down. I'm trying to put all my thoughts on paper and like make sense of everything.
yeah. It's good, man. Good. Anything I can help you to do to help you process any of those thoughts?
I'm not sure, man. I mean, even just talking about them out loud, I hear things and I see what you're saying, and it gives me, I got direction. I don't think so. Not at least right now. I think I'm okay.
Cool. Rock and
I think,
roll. Love it.
yeah, I gotta get some Dr. Brett homework done like today. I got to keep writing. That's what I
Good.
got to work on for sure, and some schoolwork, which I'm also working on right now.
I love it. How's the studying coming?
Pretty good. I last week I had some bad moments. We got into math again, which sucked, and then I went through a chapter in a day, which I never do. It's just, I guess
Good.
it depends what the material is, but I'm either working on the real estate, or I'm like trying to work on this book or Dr. Britt stuff. I'm trying to be super, I like I'm trying to be really diligent on all this stuff. But then I almost don't feel like I'm doing anything else at times too.
Yeah.
Like I'm just, my head is always like in the book. I mean, I feel good about it. I don't feel like I'm wasting time, but I'm certainly like, I'm not outside as much as I'd like to be, or anything else.
How can you get both?
Um, maybe work outside. Maybe
Bro,
work.
I take clarity breaks all the time. Like I grind, I'm in front of a computer or reading all the time, but taking a 30-minute just like time out, get outside, middle afternoon, mid-morning, whatever you can, it'll improve your focus and help feed that need a little bit, and also like a little bit of novelty. I don't know how you do in new locations, but if you like studying at a coffee shop or a park, like imagine the weather's starting to get nice out there.
Yeah.
just mix things up a little bit. But this is your life, man. So there's absolutely no reason that you can't go and be like, you know what, I'm gonna go like bring my books, bring my study, still be focused, but go do it somewhere where there's like some nature, maybe some beautiful
Mm.
ladies walking around, not too distracting,
Yeah,
but something where
yeah,
you get a little bit of novelty, and
yeah.
it mixes up, your framework a little bit.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I do feel like there's definitely like a layer of peace that I'm feeling lately. There definitely is. There's 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 something here. There's something that I haven't had before. Because you know, even even when my daughter and her little snippy shit, I just like I it kind of rolls off where I would I would have flipped the table over. I'm like, I will fucking murder you. Like, yeah, I'm I'm not doing that. There's no table flipping, no yelling, no screaming. I just kind of smiled at her. I'm like, all right, we'll see you shortly. Which is not my MO. It's
Good.
not. I'm very like a fire dude. Like, I will fight fire with fire.
Yeah. That's what you gotta do sometimes. Good. Cool. All right. Well, you just keep me posted, Mike. Anything I can do to serve you
Okay, man.
for you.
Yeah. Okay, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Jeremy, what's going on with you, brother?
Where's Jeremy? I can't see him. Oh, there he is.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hold on. Let me get, all right. Now we're good. I'm good, man. How you guys?
Doing
Good,
great.
brother.
Good. Hey, I've jumped in on the conversation and maybe I can share my experience and maybe it can help you out with
Please.
your situation. I have two teenagers currently. My
Shit.
oldest son, yeah, my daughter, she's 16, man. She's a better person than I'll ever be. It wasn't always like that. And my 19-year-old son currently has come around and it has not 100% been like that. I've been in your shoes, man. When my son was about 15 years old was when he fell off the train and he started smoking a lot of weed and like being high just about every single day. I mean, to the point where I couldn't even tell anymore. Mouthy, just doing shit to irritate me, to watch me explode and
Mm.
flip over that table and get angry and yell and it didn't work. It ruined me and my son's relationship to the point where he like moved out into a friend's house at 16 years old. He was living with a friend and his mom at 16 years old, and it got to the point where, well, let me back up a little bit. The the events that led up to that point was him and his friends stole a bunch of road signs, right? And I was just like you, man. I was battling that flipping out dad mode, right? Like if you mouth back off to me, I'm going to give it to you even worse. Totally the wrong answer.
Yeah.
Because they don't listen to a thing you say. Once you get to that point, nothing you say is even jiving. And him and his friends stole a bunch of road signs, and I was keeping my cool. I was being responsible. I was sitting on the couch, took a deep breath. Mom was kind of talking over the things, and he's walking down. My wife was like, "You could take all these road signs, you're gonna put them back exactly where you got them." They had like 25 road signs, and I'm Googling like the punishments of stealing road signs, right? And it pops up, it's a felony if you steal that many road signs. So him and his friend have all these road signs in their hand. They're walking out the door, and I'm like, "Hey, y'all know," it's the first thing I said the whole time, and I was proud of myself because I didn't lose my cool. "Hey, y'all know that's a felony with that many road signs?" And he said, "Fuck you, Dad. Mom
Oh,
already told us." And I flipped, bro. I saw black, I saw red. I grabbed a fucking road sign and I crushed him over his head with it and kicked him in the ass and kicked his buddy off my porch. It was a terrible time, man. Like that event led him to be like, I don't want a relationship with my father. He's an asshole,
Right.
et cetera. Fill in the blanks. I'm gonna go move with my friend. And my wife was like, didn't know what to do because here I am exploding and not being a great example as a father or even to my other children. It was a bad situation. That woke me up. That woke me up to say, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? How can I fix it? how can I repair this? How can I approach this differently? And I did what you're doing, man. Like, I shut up. My first thing I did is I shut up and I listened, because in these conversations, I think that I'm like spilling wisdom out onto these kids or my kids. I'm like, I'm going to spit all this wisdom out. They aren't listening. They
No.
want you, they want to be heard. They want to be heard. Right. And if you stop, I've tried this, and it really was enlightening. When I wanted to say something, I just kept quiet, and it brought more stuff out from my children that they would have not otherwise said if I just started trying to coach or try to like spit all this wisdom or my rebuttal to your thing that you think is right. They're not listening to that. Then they go on to explain more, and it makes more sense. I just be quiet, and let them talk. And even when I think they're done talking, I'm still listening. I'm still just waiting.
Mm.
And it worked out very well for me. I have restored my relationship with my son. You know, he's doing good things. We go hunting together and stuff like that. And I've had the hard conversation with him in my garage where I didn't really necessarily like wholeheartedly apologize, but I said, hey, here's the things that have been bothering me, what I've done to you, and I need to tell you that it wasn't okay, and I apologize. So maybe that helps you, maybe it doesn't, man, but I'm still living sort of through those things. I have two younger sons that I joke around about, but it's I say I have a do-over, right? I have two do-overs. So two younger sons, but I still love my older children. My daughter, she was just born awesome. So I don't know why, she turned out the way she did with me hooping and hollering at my oldest son. But man, I it's a struggle. You just want to bang your head up against the wall because you're like, you can't, you're not making great choices.
Yeah.
You think you know everything. You know how the typical teenager stuff, man. And really what it boils down to is you just have to love them. You have to let them make mistakes, and you have to love them. My son's car, I don't want to belabor on stories, but my son's car sat in my driveway for 9 months because it needed a $500 part, and he had to pay for it. Right. I wanted to help him. He couldn't even get a job because he couldn't get there. I'm like, bro, you got to figure it out. Like, he's like, I can't get a job because I don't have a car. I'm like, you put yourself in this situation, like you're gonna have to eat it. And it's hard as a parent to watch them suffer.
Yeah.
So like my best advice would be just love them, dude. Just tell them that you love them. Even when they're yelling and mad, tell them that you love them. They'll be like, they won't know how to react to that. You're like, what?
Hmm.
And
I
then
love
just
that.
let them bask in their mistakes, dude. Like, obviously don't let them hurt themselves, but like, you're just gonna have to sit in this for a while. That's hard to do too.
Dude, I appreciate everything you said. I got a lot out of what you said. I did. Thank you. I appreciate you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, dude.
What I'll say, Jeremy, on that note too, and I'm sure Joe Dalton's got some insight on this. But if my teenage son said "F you" after doing something like that, I think your reaction was probably very well deserved.
Yeah.
The lessons I've really learned in regards to the world of men came on the other side of an ass beating. And it was either in business or me mouthing off to somebody that I didn't need to mouth off to. But the truth of the matter is, if he did that on the street to another guy and like thought that
Yeah.
was fun, he could get shot, he could get stabbed, he'd get his ass kicked, he'd get thrown in, the hospital. And so there are certain lessons in the world that we're living in that really are only taught through traditional means, and the traditional means are violence. If you look at how like a dog pack at the park operates, or like a wolf pack operates, the alpha, he maintains his rank by being able to show his teeth, be able to pin the other smaller animals, be able to like be like the proper alpha. And it doesn't mean he's going to like be violent with them all the time. But as we grow up, in order for us to really surrender and submit, even from these templates of biblical masculinity as our relationship with God is developed. We should have a holy fear of God, where he's Papa Bear. He's got the teeth. He's got the strength in us. He's more enduring. So we should have that deep respect and fear. And you look at like the context of fear of the Lord, that's like deep admiration and awe, but it's also like a good amount of healthy fear because he is the author and creator. Just like in the same hierarchy, I think our relationship with God is a template for a relationship with father and son. There should be healthy fear as the boy is developing into his manhood of you in proper authority. Otherwise, he's going to step into the world, take that same level of disrespect out there to the other men, and other men aren't going to tolerate it. They just won't tolerate it.
I 100% agree with that. Yep. Well said.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well said. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
What's up, Joe Dalton?
Hi guys. I wasn't gonna jump on the call because I'm honestly having like a horrible morning. Mentally trying to figure out a lot of stuff. We're leaving in like a week from Florida, and the finances are just a tornado. I don't know what to do. If I should push out continuing to try to do this tax deduction thing, or if it's going to prevent us from selling our house. It's a mess. But I don't think there's anything any of you can do to change it. So let's focus on the teenage thing. So Sunday or Monday, speaking to what you were talking about, showing your teeth and being the authority and making sure that your kids have, that separation between, you're the kid, I'm the adult, without being a jerk. Monday, we were on the boat with a family, another family, our friends, they have 2 kids. And Sunday, the day before, I pulled Antonio in my room. He's 16. He's got a girl he's talking to. And I said, dude, I'm just so proud of you. Like, so many things you're doing right, blah, blah, blah. I said last week when we went to the beach with the other family, I asked you and Jude to leave your phones home, and you guys were cool with it. You never put up a fight. You were interacting with their kids. Like, you had a great time. You didn't have your phone, but it didn't affect you. And that's healthy. Like, you got to give those things up once in a while. We're fasting. We're giving up food. You got to give up your phone once in a while. Like, those are healthy things to do. And I'm seeing it, and I recognize that. And I just gave them like a 20-minute, we talked back and forth, but I do that probably every quarter with each of my kids, especially the older ones. And then the next day, we spend from like 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m. with this family, and he's on his effing phone all day texting that girl. She's 14, he's 16. She's about to be 15. They've been talking for 6 months. The dad doesn't want her to date, so they're just friends. Dude, he does 9,000 texts a month. And so we got home that night. So first of all, if this happened a year ago, I would have embarrassed the shit out of him in front of everybody and said, give me your phone. I would have grabbed his phone in the middle of the day when I was feeling just so disrespected and pissed off. Like, better. You know this, like, whether he was having a bad day and just wanted to check out, like, I don't care. I have bad days and want to check out, and I don't. Now I'm 40 and he's 16, but the point is, it's to the point where I'm like, dude, you're using her to just feel good. Like, you have a literal addiction to the dopamine that she gives you. Because I read all their stuff, and it's just so surface level because, they got a little too lovey-dovey, nothing crazy, but like a little too lovey-dovey. And so we put her brother on the thread. So now he has to text her brother, who's older, who's his friend, and his girl. So that was the next step.
Wow.
And now they're just like, I know God has you for me and me for you, and we're going to wait. We're going to make this work, and I'm never going to change my mind, and I'm committed, and I can't wait till we can date. When do you think that'll be? And it's like, I get it. That's fine. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I was 15 in love, 16, whatever. But when that's all you talk about, like just to get warm and fuzzies, like you're saying it's a friendship. You don't even know this girl. Like you're not getting to know her as a friend. You're just obsessed with the thought of the future. You're obsessed with the fact that she's cute and likes you. And so you want to text her all day, every day to just simply like feel good, like to put a drip of dopamine in your freaking veins with this girl. And so we got home and they know that when we pull the boat up on the dock, everyone helps unload it. Everyone helps spray it down, wash it, put the chairs back. Like everyone helps. He's like, I got to go pee real quick. I'm like, whatever. So he goes pee. Well, then he's in the bathroom for 15 minutes and apparently he needed to poop. And I'm like, I don't even know if I believe you because you had your phone in there. And so like one time he avoided helping and I'm like, you will never do that again. Like that's a jerk move. You're not like we all, whatever. So fast forward, I went inside like 30 minutes later and I said, hand me your phone. I said, you were on your phone way too much today. And I took his phone and that was it. I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I didn't do anything that I would have done a year ago. And I've had his phone since. So this is, from Monday night to now Thursday morning. And so Kirsten's like, he's never going to ask you for his phone back. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course he's going to ask me for it back. She's like, I don't think he's got the balls to bring it up because he knows, like, give me your phone. End of story. Like, I don't even explain. He knows. But the point is, like, she said, if he asks me for the phone back, she's going to say, ask the person that took it from you because he'll go to Kirsten, but not as much to me. Yeah. But this is just confirmation that there is that healthy fear. He knows I'm the authority. I'm very graceful, very loving, very compassionate, very supportive of him, but I have shown my teeth and it matters. So I'm going to talk to him today about the phone. But the point is, I learned from my 2 episodes ago on my podcast from Larry Hagner, and I'm going to do the exact same thing I learned, which is that Antonio is going to write an agreement of the new boundaries because 9,000 texts a month is stupid. That's 300 a day. That's 50 an hour. That's 1 a minute. Not going to happen. He's going to write a new agreement. And if I agree with the agreement, he's going to get his phone back. Otherwise, we're going to revise the agreement to my liking, but he's going to come up with it. How much can I text her? When can I text her? And if I don't follow the agreement, what is the consequence? And he's going to write the entire agreement is what I'm learning. Let your teenagers create the boundaries that they know you're going to make them have anyway. Let them come up with it. But it just is like the writing's on the wall. When a girl likes you and you're 16, she's just the, means to an end to stroke his ego. I don't know, whatever, fill in the blank, all the things that guys want, right? They want to feel capable. They want to feel worthy. They want to feel valued. They want attention. They want affirmation. And she's just over there like 14 years old, texting him everything that makes him feel good. And it's annoying as hell, but I don't want to, shut him down and like,
let me give you a tool. Hang tight right there.
I don't even text my wife that much, right?
Dalton, you said one thing, like, yeah, I heard you say you're going through something with the finances. I get that. We had a brief conversation and you said there was nothing like any of us can do, like for better or for worse. Like I can at least like say a prayer for you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Like just keep you in my thoughts. And like, I get it. Like the finances, like kick you in the balls. I know that feeling well, but like, I got you, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Keep talking about it too, Joe, from the standpoint of, what you're hoping for, what you're believing for, how you can be supported. Don't forget the power of, positive prayer, but also the affirmative mind, putting that into the universe. So as you get on these calls, just be like, I'm believing for the best. Like I'm dealing with this struggle, and, let us be there for it, at least from, a spiritual standpoint, because that's ultimately what we can provide for you. So, okay. I'm in a season of dating, and what I know to be true about the dating season is that we're not really taught how to date effectively and efficiently. And so I'm practicing all the tools, all the things that I coach you guys on. And one area that I know where I can always lead better is the intentionality of the curiosity and the questions, knowing that I'm not just on there to like surface level get to know somebody. I want to deepen my relationship based on my core values. Make sure that the gals that I'm speaking with are focused on God. They've got the right core values, right? So I have to ask the right question the same way an interviewer would ask the right questions, making sure that someone is in alignment. So I don't get all googly eyed for a great pair of legs, right? And so knowing that, no one taught me that though. No one taught me that from the standpoint of, hey, this is how you should date. This is what you should look for in a partner. I've had to learn the hard way. And so what we get to do as mentors, you as a father figure, is teach your son how to do it a little bit differently. So this is an adult version of a game card that I pull out, like either on the dates or in the texting process. It has prompts and questions that allow insight and understanding in who the person is. And it's a really simple way to maintain that level of curiosity throughout the relationship. I started doing this before I met Rachel, and just as an easy way to keep the conversation going. And I'd pick the questions that are most in alignment with the answers that I wanted to hear or know about, so that as I was stepping into the interview process, I'd get the insight. I did a very quick Google search for you, Joe. I dropped it into the chat. There's a Christian talking points card. Exact same thing, where you could literally teach your son, hey, listen, here's why this is not really going to build healthy masculine feminine polarity. A, you're too available to her. It's not, and you're not leading the relationship. Remember, we want to lead as godly men. And so a way to lead as godly men is to make sure that you're always bringing it back to God. The great little diagram that Pastor Keith does when he talks about his, when he first started courting his wife, he draws this triangle, bottom corners of the triangle. He's in one corner, his wife or his girlfriend at the time is in the other corner. At the top of the pyramid is God. He says, I'm going to be my best for God. You be your best for God, and we'll meet in the middle. Rather than what your son's focusing on is the direct them to them relationship. They're not repointing it back to the center, right? So where I would add to this contract that he's building out is a little bit of coaching. Hey, I want to give you a really good tool so you can help to learn more about her. Because I realize no one's probably ever taught you how to date. No one ever taught me how to date. And so as I'm learning, I want you to learn. And so I'd love to invest in something like this for you. And it's like $15. Get the cards, give him a couple cards where he can have those questions throughout the day, throughout the week, but you're directing the conversation and you're teaching him how to lead his woman. Like that would be way more powerful than you getting frustrated, not liking the direction. Remember, we're ultimately in control of the outcome that we want. So if you want to see like more intentionality in that, teach him how to do it, because no one taught me, and I know no one taught you, but we figured it out. And so that's my insight. I don't know if that resonates with you.
Yeah, that's like definitely next level when it comes to being frustrated that your kids are doing something or not doing something. Is just like this automatic instinctual thing. And then the question is like, well, have you ever taught them that? Like when they clean the bathroom, they do a really good job because we've taught them, like, you start with the mirror because you're going to kick up dust, and then you do the counters, and then you do the floors because like there's a reason behind it. And so if he doesn't know how to navigate his friendship with this girl, then why am I expecting him to navigate the relationship with the girl other than just a texting limit? It's like, hey, bro, listen, like, this is what girls ultimately want. They want to be led. They want to be courted. They want to be treasured. They want to be pursued. Yeah. But when you're texting her all day, every day, like, you are Mr. Nice Guy, and it backfires.
Yes.
So that's good, man. That's like, that's just like literal wisdom. Like, how many dads out of 100 would give that to their 16-year-old as a tool, not many, maybe not any of them.
There you go, man. Go lead the way on it. And I think it will be a
Hold
fun
on
way.
one second.
Yeah.
Did we lose Dalton?
He's had to pop off for a second.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, that's good stuff, man. I mean, could you imagine like starting day one, having a clue what you're doing with women, just trying to open something inside of them? That's all I thought the agenda was. Just try to get my dick in as many of them as possible. Obviously, I'm going down the wrong road.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'll also drop in this for the adult version of it, but I'd say I know you're stepping back into the dating world, man. These are good questions and insight. It's great for date nights. So I'll drop this deck in for you dads as well, because we just did a podcast with this yesterday, Josh and I, talking about romance, right? So romance in the beginning of a relationship, there's massive intentionality and massive curiosity. You're very present and you're curious with your partner, constantly learning about them. What happens through the season of a relationship is we just get used to the habits, behaviors, actions. We end up taking our partner for granted. So we stop doing the things that we did before. If you stay curious by asking questions and pretend like you don't know the person, because you don't really know the person, you may have a lot of time and history, but at the end of the day, you don't know the innermost thoughts, behaviors, and things that they're working on and working through. That there's no way. There's just no way. And they're never going to fully know you. That's what God's job is. That's why we got to stay curious in our relationship. And so bringing something like this to the table where you simply, hey, what do you think? What do you think I think makes me sexy? Hand him the card. It says, I'll check back in with you a little bit later on that. Just a fun way to keep that excitement going between you and your person. Create some new dialogue. So it's not always just the kids and work and this, that, and the other thing. It's your intentional pursuit through curiosity and presence. Then you've got a card a day kind of thing. And there's so many variations of these like conversation cards, but it's just a way to learn more about the person you're doing life with. And Joe, what I think would be cool for you, man, is this. I believe it would really deepen your relationship with your son. Like you guiding him through this and just showing him how to be a gangster in the dating field, like with his lady and really leading her, like that's going to deepen a relationship. And then the world will teach him the lessons, right? The world will teach him lessons, but you'll have created an alliance because you're giving him the tool and you want the same outcome. One of my core values is win-win. And so we not only start our conversations with like, what are your wins, but I'm always thinking, how can we create a win for everybody? This is the ultimate win. The win is you want him to be married, be a godly man, to be able to love and serve his wife. Great. He wants that same thing too. He wants to marry her. He wants to be a godly man, and he wants her to be his woman. And so you supporting him in that vision with the tools and the practicality behind it, holy cow. Like you guys are gonna be like two peas in a pod on it.
Yeah, it's like a partnership rather than a dictatorship.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't have kids though, so I don't know how I would
Pause
respond.
right there.
Yeah.
The best parenting advice I get is from people without kids.
Uh,
We were on a cruise ship, just chilling by the pool, and we met two couples, and they're like in their 30s, and they just happened to not have kids. And we were talking for like an hour, and halfway through, I'm like, "You guys have any kids?" They're like, "Nope." I'm like, "Sweet. I'm gonna ask you some parenting advice." And they had some excellent. They're like, parents treat their kids like they're idiots. It's like, talk to them like an adult, talk to them like a human being. Like they want respect from their kid, but they don't respect their kid. Like, I don't know. It was just really good stuff.
it's good.
So thank you for that. That was very good wisdom. And I might have to hop off in like 2 minutes here, but
Yeah, no worries.
I didn't want to just take from the call. But I did hear Jeremy you earlier about like the car was broke and he needed to pay for it and didn't have a car to go to work. And two of my favorite things to ever say to my kids is make it happen, figure it out. And that is, I just read something yesterday that talked about the most mentally healthy people are the most flexible. And that really resonated because what's that?
I did a post about that recently.
That's probably where I heard it. I don't know. Um, but it was like these two teenagers were at the park and they borrowed our football. They're like, "Hey, can we borrow your football?" I'm like, "Sure." They got it stuck in a palm tree and they're like just staring at me. And I'm like, "What are you gonna do?" They're like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Well, you got to get that football down or else give me $25 because we bought that today for my boys and it's a $25 football." And they're just like, their brains were like shut down because they had to actually think and be creative. And unfortunately, that's the state of most teenagers nowadays. But they stood there and I was like, "What are you going to do?"
Mhm.
They're like, "There's nothing to do. We can't reach that. That's not going to happen." I'm like, "You got to think." I'm like, "There's a fire department across the street." I'm like, "Why don't you guys walk over there, ask the firemen to come back with a ladder and see if they'll help us out?" And they did. They walked across the street. The fireman came back with a pole and it was hard to get. We ended up getting it. By the time we got it down, one of the teenagers already split because he's like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
Whatever. The point is, people don't want to be accountable. They don't want to own, like Nick Kumalaso said on my podcast that I just launched, own your shit. Nobody wants to own their shit, take responsibility. My sister, who's the biological mother of my oldest son, has been sober for almost 2 years. She just got her driver's license for the first time since '08. She's had a job for over a year and she doesn't even have a car. And she has a 20-year history of heavy drug abuse. And she's not blaming anybody. She doesn't ask anybody for a ride. She either bikes there or Ubers there. And I'm just blown away at her comeback story she's creating. But she could sit there and be like, "No one's helping me. I don't have any rides. This is ridiculous." But she's just doing it. And unfortunately, she's doing it at 46 years old. But if we can get our kids to do it in their teens or even their 20s, personal responsibility
Yeah.
is just gold. It's
Yeah.
everything.
Everything.
So I think you were doing the right thing. I didn't hear the full context, but like coach has taught me, show your teeth. And I like to say, well, another thing Aaron says is let life do the teaching. And then the last one is like, let them burn. And that's not in an evil way. You don't physically let them sit there and burn, but when my kid strikes out and walks back to the dugout, I don't say, "It's okay, buddy. You'll get the next one." Like, leave it alone. Let them feel it. You don't need to sugarcoat a piece of shit. Let the piece of shit stink and do what it's supposed to do. Teach the kid.
Yep.
So anyway, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
I dropped into chat which is they do have a kids deck, but they've got all these like different card decks. Highly suggest and recommend it for date night amplification or just like romance throughout the week. Just a fun way to keep conversation going. And then the first message in there is a Christian version. I haven't bought it, so I can't speak to that, but it's a Christian version if you want to give them a little bit of context.
Yeah, I'm going to check those cards out. That was huge. Thank you guys. I'm going to pop off.
Cool. See you, Joe.
Appreciate you.
Later, Joe.
Love it. Learning from each other, the wisdom of experience. There's no other way to learn. Appreciate you guys offering insight on that. That's huge.
No, good shit. Jeremy had a lot of good things to say, man. I'm gonna implement today. I'm gonna listen. We're gonna chat. I'm not gonna talk if at all. I'm just gonna tell her what I need from her and keep my mouth shut.
Mhm.
So good shit. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Got it.
Cool. I got to go do some homework.
Peace.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Later.
Jeremy, how you feeling this week with the programming?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm on my truck, so it's kind of weird. I got it on my screen and my phone. Anyway, it's doing pretty good, man. Like, I'm looking at the whole week, which I probably shouldn't do. I should just wake up and do the thing I need to do that day and not look at the whole week. But I am looking at the whole week, and I'm enjoying the things. I mean, yesterday I did the legs, man. I got crushed.
And
I didn't even run this morning. I usually wake up in the morning, I run, and then I'll go to the gym in the afternoon. I didn't even run, so I got to get that in sometime today. I was just walking crooked this morning, and I was like, I better not run, like pull a hammy. But the leg thing, man, like I just never really. I was the guy who skipped leg day, like.
okay.
So I'm getting my legs crushed, which is good, man. But I enjoy the. I've always heard about the progressive load thing. I just never understood it.
Okay.
So
Is it
I
making
did a
sense for you
small.
as you're doing it?
Yeah, I just need. That's why I sent you the. I sent you the supplement thing, man. Like I feel like I need some more push.
Yeah.
I need more push in the gym, and I know what a good pre-workout can do for you in the gym. So I'm just getting gassed out, man. Like I should, like yesterday, for example, the 200 squats with weights in your hand. I was like, I hit 100. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do anything else if I keep doing this. I just couldn't reach 200. So like, those are the things I need a little bit of chemical help with, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. It helps, bro. It does give you an extra push. Your
Yeah.
greatest hack in this season, though, too, is going to keep your hydration high and making sure you're getting good sleep. How's your sleep coming?
Oh man, my sleep's good, dude. Like I go to bed early. Like my whole house shuts down at 9. Like we go to bed, so and I wake up at 5. So
Okay.
I get 7, 8 hours of sleep every night.
Good. 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 Okay. Cool. It's good. And you're doing everything right, man. All right. Let's get the LBs down a little bit, just with staying consistent. I think your body's still adjusting in the first few weeks, and
Yeah.
then um, we can talk about some additional supplementation. I'd love to get your blood tested at about 90 days and just see where
Yeah.
your hormone levels are at. There's a guy in our group. There's some cool things that we can do just with at-home blood testing, but also like non-steroidal ways to boost your testosterone. And so there's a ton of peptides out there, vitamin stacks you can do, but let's just get your baseline dialed in, bring the body fat down a little bit, and then we'll test things and see where you're at.
Yeah. Cool. I'm looking forward to it, man. I already feel good. My pants are fitting a little loose, so I got it's a small win, like you call it, like a small win, stacking them wins. Like it's a small win, and I know what the future is going to hold if I keep going. So
Awesome. Awesome, bro. 6-pack and shirtless come summertime.
that's the goal.
I love it, bro. I love it. Love it. Cool. Awesome, man. You got anything else you're working through I can support you with?
No, I mean, I think we talked a good bit about. I mean, I'm always working through something, man. My mind goes 100 miles an hour all the time, and I'm jumping all over the place. There's a lot of things I'm working on, and I started with you with the physical fitness stuff, but I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm always looking for advice, and I'm always pushing through something. I'm always battling something, man. The evil one's tricky, dude. You put stuff in your head it ain't true, and it's an everyday battle. It's an everyday surrender.
Yeah.
With your faith is strong, like it's every day. Like you go to bed thinking that you just complete shit, right?
Yeah.
Wake up and try again.
Yeah. It's true. It's good, man. But it's just that's why we have to discipline ourselves in the gym, build our bodies, and really test our strength, because it's an endurance race, right? It's not something where it's a one and done. It is like a nonstop, never ending 200 rep set that just keeps repeating every single day.
Yeah. I tell you one thing that I'm really struggling with, and I'm working through it. I don't want to belabor, but
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time. I heard the saying probably 6 months ago, and it stuck with me. And I keep telling other folks that I run into is, do what you say what you mean, just don't say it mean.
That's good.
And yeah, it is good. And I'm trying to be that high value man, your words, and be kind but dangerous, but when it comes to my occupation, like I'm still transitioning from matter of fact military way of approaching things.
Mhm.
And now I'm in the civilian world. Everybody just, there's a lot of fake people. There's a lot
Soft.
of passive aggressive people. And I'm just too matter of fact. I got told yesterday that I probably shouldn't say things. And I was like, I'm not saying anything mean. I'm just calling people out. Like,
Yeah.
you messed up. Like, why are we still talking about this? Like, move on and do something about it. Instead of blaming or shifting or making up a false reality that, oh, this failed because, et cetera. I'm just a matter of fact. I'll be in the meeting and I'll go, no,
Mhm.
you messed that up. Like, you failed. Why
Yeah.
can't you accept that? Well, you can't say that. Why can't I say that? Like, I'm having a hard time with that. So,
Yeah,
like,
we're living in a soft world, man, where I think people are just afraid of taking responsibility and ownership. Um, the and this is a communication tool we'll touch on as we develop our relationship, but communication is like 8% the words that we actually say. And so you could say something just as you had your adage, you can say something that is truthful and be very impactful. But if your tone, your body language, and like the emotion behind it are not delivered in a way that can be receptive, people just perceive the wrong emotion or they perceive the wrong message. And so you could say the most truthful thing, but if your body language, and as a military guy, like you're a commanding dude already, big old beard, like big, and like I imagine like there's a level um, of intimidation that happens. So on that level, it's like as guys with beards, and this is just something naturally that I've had to work on over the years, we got to show our teeth in a different way. Like we got to smile more. We got to change our presence a little bit. Maybe we're seated when we do it rather than standing, making sure that there's a softer like approach where it's like chest open, chin lifted, but like gentle. I've had to work on that tone, pitch, and cadence like so much because I know that I've got some good wisdom to share, but if I go from the traditional man to man like style where I'm like, dude, I just want to hit you between the eyes because we got to get something done. Even in like running the team, I've got contractors, I've got employees, I've got team members, same kind of thing. I need to deliver feedback that's truthful, but I need to do it in a way that they actually hear it. If they don't hear it and they feel challenged or criticized in it, they shut down, and then ultimately the goal that I want is not going to happen, right? So
yeah,
the same thing that we talked about with Joe and his son is if you can think about the win-win in this, okay, we both want the same thing. We're working for the same company. We've got the same like overall goal, whatever the goal is and the mission is. We just have different ways of doing it and get going about it. And so how can you change not necessarily who you are, but how you deliver the truth so that it gets the goal done? And that's effective communication. It takes time.
yeah, yeah. And I try, and I'm very unaware of my presence. And my wife will tell me really quick, like, you need to tone it down a couple notches. I'm like, I'm not even angry. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. Yeah,
That's
that's the stuff I'm working on, man. I'm working through it, and working on it. So
good. Working through. That's what we're always doing, bro. I love it. Love it, man. Cool. Awesome, Jeremy. Well, I'm grateful for you, man. I love the progress you're making in such a short amount of time. I love that you show up on those calls and add value. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. You're bringing wisdom to the other guys and looking forward to just watching you grow.
yeah, man, appreciate it.
Cool, bro. Awesome. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you.
Peace.